What's going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you again for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today, guys, we are going to be talking about artifact enhancement events and what is the best strategy that you can use as an early game, late game, end game, mid game player, whatever level of game you are playing currently for Raid Shadow Legends. This is a surefire strategy that you can use with minimal amounts of resources to try to accomplish this, right? So let's get into the numbers and stuff. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been showing support to the channel. Thank you for all the new subscribers that have been coming along. I appreciate you guys so much. If you do have any questions, feel free to always leave them in the comments down below. I always answer every comment. And if you want to just ask some questions in private because you might be embarrassed, might be feeling like a noob or whatever, feel free to just DM me in Discord. I'm very open-minded. I'm not going to, make fun of anybody or anything like that. We're all here to learn, and unfortunately, some of us don't learn at the same pace as other people do. So, that said, let's start getting into some of these numbers. Okay, so the first thing we got to recognize is what pieces of gear we're going to be working with. And so for this one, we're actually going to be working with 5 stars and 6 stars, right? Now you can see a 5-star, if you were to roll it up to 8, is going to get you 5 points. 12, you would get 40. 16, you get 270. For a 6-star, if you would roll it up to 8, you're going to get 10 points. For a 12, you would get 65 points. And for a 16, you would get 340 points, right? Now, you could use 4 stars as your earlier, right, when you're brand new to the game. I would not use 3 stars, 2 stars, or 1 stars. They don't work out well. You're going to waste the resources. At least the 4 stars you might be able to keep for a little bit longer while you're playing. All right, so here we have the basically upgrade chances that you have, right, for a piece of gear. So you start off at 100%, which is certain, right? You get that all the way up to, I believe it's number 4. Then you move into high, which is 72%, not bad. Medium, 42%. So we take a significant decrease. We're going under 50% at this point of getting an upgrade. Then we're going down to 22%, which is basically less than a 25% chance of us getting an upgrade to that. So 1 out of every 4 is basically what we're going to succeed, but the other 3 we're going to fail and pay the silver. And then we go down to a 6%, which is really, really low, right? This is where most of the silver goes. This is where it's going to cost us because we get the final upgrade. So too many of these can be very, very costly for you. And sometimes you might not know when to quit and walk away. All right, so here you can see the actual cost per upgrade, right? All the way from 5-star from 600 for the first upgrade to 2,600 for the last upgrade for each attempt, right? It's not going to be, it's only going to cost you this much. We'll get that in the next table. And then, from 6-star, each upgrade attempt is going to cost you 900 for the first one, going all the way up to 32,700. Now, if you were to use 4 stars, it's 400 all the way up to 20,000 per attempt, right? So remember, as we talked about, that 6% chance when you start getting to 16 can start adding up quite a bit. Okay, so in this one, we're basically going to go what the average cost of upgrading a piece of gear costs you for artifacts, right? This is not for accessories. This is just for artifacts. Accessories, you can pretty much double this of what it's going to cost you. So for a 5-star, we're pretty much looking from 0 to 16. If you were just to rank it out right off the bat, you're looking at about 14,000 silver, 1.4 million silver, sorry. For a 6-star, you're looking at a 1.9 million silver. So you can see if you were just to do this from 0 to 16 right off the bat, you're talking quite a bit of silver, right? But we're not going to use that strategy. We actually have something else, that's going to be way more efficient. And I'll show you guys the numbers at the end between going from 0 to 16 and then using this strategy. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do 140 runs of stage 20 of whatever the dungeon you're doing is. Now, this is just for artifacts, right? This is not going to be for accessories. Accessories are going to cost you a lot more. And I suggest being a little more pickier with the accessories that you're going to level because of the cost. So keep that in mind that this is just for accessories. So when it comes down to doing spider, you might want to start crafting some gear out of the forge or holding back some other pieces that you could potentially look at leveling, right? So that said, we're going to be using about 2,250 energy, which over the course of 2 days, you can get while just doing daily, stuff like that. And as long as you're active in game, you should never be able to fully cap on your energy. So you should be able to complete whatever event is in game within 2 days for a fusion, right? Assuming that they don't change the points on us, but usually you can do it with about 2 days worth of energy. Now, at stage 20, we're going to get roughly 140 pieces of gear. 73% of that is going to be 5-star. Now, the nice part about the artifact enhancement events is we don't care if it's a rare, epic, or legendary. If it's legendary, great. It doesn't cost us any more silver than it would to do a epic or a rare, right? And we're going to get about 27% of the 6-stars, which is going to lead us roughly to about 38 6-stars and 102 5-stars. And then on top of that, you're going to get some silver back because you're farming it, and you're going to get about 1.7 million silver. Now, I want you to make sure that you do not have the auto sell feature turned on RSL helper. You need all of these pieces of gear. You cannot turn the auto sell feature on RSL helper and think that you're still going to be able to accomplish this plan. You can't. You will have to check that box off this time. And honestly, it's only worth it if you're farming a specific event. As long as you're just doing the fusions, I always turn mine off. I don't use it, and then I just gear cleanse afterwards. All right, so out of the 102 5-stars, we're going to basically level everything up to 8, right? And that's going to cost us an average of about 38,000 silver, almost 39,000 silver, right, to try to get it from 0 to 8. It's going to give us about 510 points for the artifact enhancement event, and it's going to cost us roughly 4 million silver. Exactly, it's going to be 3.975, 552 silver, right? So now for the 6-stars, we've got 38, and those are going to yield us 380 points for the event, and then it's going to cost us 59,084 silver to try to get them from 0 to 8, right? And then it's going to cost us a total of 2.274 in total, right? And between leveling everything from the 5-stars and 6-stars to 0 to 8, we're looking at an estimate cost of 6.2 million silver, 49 roughly, right? So now we've basically trying to get to that 4,000 mark. We've got 890 points, right? And we're at a net loss of 6.2 million silver. All right, so we've basically upgraded all that pieces to 8. Now we've kind of gear cleansed everything, and we basically need about 25 pieces of the 5-stars and 10 pieces of the 6-stars. Now, if you have more or less of a mixture between the both, you can, change it up a little bit, but these are roughly you're going to need about 35 pieces, right? Now, the cost to bringing these up to 12, and I say ideally you want to try to bring the best possible pieces. Now, being an early and mid-game player, that shouldn't be too difficult for you. Being an end-game to, late-game and end-game player, it's going to be a little more difficult for you to try to get them through the events, especially because most of them are going to be farming some hard mode dungeons. But at level 12, to bring the 5-stars to 12 is going to cost you 174,000 silver per item, right? So for the 5-stars alone, we're looking at 4.3 million silver roughly, give or take a couple of thousand, right? Now for the 10-stars, what we're going to be looking at to bring them from 8 to 12 is going to cost us about 248,000 silver per item that we want to bring up, and that's going to be about 2.4 million, almost 2.5, right? So currently, just for bringing them from 9 to 12, we're at a net loss of 6.8 million silver, right? But selling the 77 pieces that we have left over from the 102 and selling the 28 pieces that we have left over from the 6-stars, right? For the 5-stars, we're going to get roughly about a cost of 42,000 silver. And for the 6-stars, we're going to get a rough cost of about 56,000 silver, right? Now, most of these are going to be a little bit skewed depending on RNG. You may get more epics, more legendaries, less rares, or more rares. So this is going to be a basic average, right? So for selling the 5-stars, we're going to get roughly about 3.2 million silver. And for selling the 6-stars, we're going to get about 1.6 million silver, with a total, profit for selling the leftover items at about 4.8 million silver. So after this, we are currently at a net loss for this stage of 2 million silver, right? Points gained for this, though, are 1,650. The 5-stars awarded us 1,000 points, and the 6 stars awarded us 650 points. So final stage, right, we have 35 pieces of gear. We're currently looking at 2,540 points. We need about 1,460 points left. How do we get those points, right? Well, the best way to do it is to get 3 5-star pieces and 2 6 stars. Now, to level everything up to 16 for the 3 stars, each one is going to cost us 1.238969 million silver, right? Which is going to be roughly about 3.7 million silver to upgrade all 3 5 stars. Now, for the 6 stars, it's going to be 1.909490 cost roughly. Again, it is an estimate. Total cost for that is going to be about 3.2 million silver roughly, right? With a total combined cost for upgrading all of these items of 6.9 million silver. Now, after selling all of the remaining pieces, after selling the 22 5 stars that we're not going to need anymore at 42,000 silver, we're going to get back 900,027. After selling the remaining 6 stars, which is 8, at 56,000 silver, we're going to get back 450,000 silver with a total profit on that part of 1.378496 million silver. After selling everything and basically, taking out the losses and what we've got, phase 3 has cost us 5.5 million 22,000 silver, right? With a total point cost of, or total point acquisition of 1,490 points, which puts us about 40 points over what we needed, right? Okay, so let's do a final cost analysis, right? What did this event actually cost us? Was it the best way that we can get it done? Now, from 0 to 8 to get all those 140 pieces, it cost us 6.249 million silver. We got 890 points, right? So it seems kind of high right there, but it gets better. Now, from 9 to 12, it costs us 2 million silver, 2,025,000 silver, basically. And we got 1,650 for the points back. Now, that seems way better, right? And then stage 3, which is probably the most costly one, or it seems the most costly one because you're getting so many failed attempts, going from 13 to 16 costs us 5.5 22,000 million, right? 5,522,000 silver, with a total point gain of 1,490. So that put us at a total of a net loss so far of 13,797,000, and points gained was 4,040, right? But don't forget now that we did farm out the 1.7 million silver from the start, right? So that's going to bring us down to roughly 12.1 million silver. Now, this is pretty obtainable, right? This is pretty cheap. This is pretty easy. The thing is, most of us have been, kind of stuck in our ways of going from 12 to 16 or 0 to 16 because we're endgame players, and that's what we push onto the community. And that's what we push onto new players, right? Only bring pieces of gear that, only invest in the pieces of gear that you're going to level, which may be true as you move into the end game. But as you move into the early game, you want to be as efficient as possible. Now, let's just say that we go from 0 to 16, right? Well, what do we need for that? We're going to need about 14 pieces of gear. So let's take 5 stars. We'll take 10 of those, and then we'll take 4 6 stars, right? Now, the full cost to go from 0 to 16 for a 5-star is going to be about 1.459 million silver. Now, if you take 10 pieces of that, right, it's going to cost you 14.6 million silver, and it's going to give you about 2,700 points, right? Granted, it is going to be the fastest way. This is probably what most endgame players do. Now, the 6 stars, right? If you were to take 4 of those and go from 0 to 16, that's going to cost you about 1.9 million silver per piece, right? Which is pretty expensive. Now, if you were to do that over 4 pieces, that's going to be 7,637,000. And that's going to yield you a total of 1,360 points. So total, you're going to get 4060. You're going to get about 20 points more than what I discussed earlier. So that's a pretty big difference. So now this is going to cost you a total, if you were just to do it this way, it's going to cost you a total of 22,228,000. And even if you take out the 1.7 million that you got from farming, you're going to it's still going to cost you 20.5 million, right? Which is pretty significant compared to the 12 million. So we're talking about an 8.4 million difference in silver, which can add up over time. If you're doing 2 or 3 or 4 of these artifact events, especially, you know, with this last one that we had, the Artac one, I found myself, you know, re-looking and thinking of how I was leveling the gear. You know, I'm accustomed to just basically farming out the gear, selling the bad stuff right off the bat, and not even looking at the full advantage point of it. So, you know, the takeaway from this is don't just sell off all the gear, right? Collect the gear, level it up, get those free points right at the start, right? Try to make it, getting 12 million silver is going to be a lot easier than getting 20 million silver, right? So when you start out this event, you could start the first one with about 10 million, and as you go through, you can farm out some more. But hope that this helps, guys. If you do have any questions, feel free to DM me in Discord or leave them down in the comments below. I will answer anything. If you like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Welcome aboard, and then you know, give the video a like. It really does help the channel out. Again, with everything going on with the fusions, it's going to get harder and harder. So I'm going to try to put out as many of these videos that I can to educate the community in the best ways possible. So that said, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.